Okay, I'm trying to get better and follow my notes, so I'm going to do my best to follow notes today. If I lose track or if I don't do as well, we'll learn again and try to do something different next week. I have been asked a number of times over the years, what is the most important aspect to a successful salesperson? I've been asked it myself, others, judging, evaluating, whatever else. The answer, in my opinion, is one thing, period: persistence. Persistence is all of it. I love the old Winston Churchill quote, never, 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 never give up. I wish I could say it in his fantastic old British voice, but it's phenomenal. You can live by it. Never give up. Don't quit. Keep pushing. Keep driving. If you ever consider quitting as an option, then you will fail. Realize that. It's one of the things they try to teach you in marriage. You can't even accept that divorce is an option, or you're most likely headed there. In sales, if you think failure is even an option, you have already failed. A little bit of an overstatement, but if you paid any attention to me, you know I prefer to overstate to get you set in the right spot. You can have doubts. You can get discouraged. You can get beaten, but you cannot quit. Getting beaten, getting knocked to the curb, being where you need a big Mexican food meal or a couple extra beers after work, whatever, that's okay. Being discouraged is okay. Quitting is not. There is a huge difference. There is a great scene from a movie, Cool Hand Luke. If any of y'all are old enough to remember it, one of the great scenes. Luke is kind of the outsider, and he's trying to fit in, and you got, I think his name was George Papard, but the big guy, the bully of the yard, they get in a fight. And big guy is just beating the living crud out of Cool Hand Luke, which I like calling him that, said just Luke. But either way, or actually the actor's name was, somebody here at the table help me. What was his name? He makes all the sauce. Newman, Paul Newman. So we'll try to use that because any of you that can possibly remember this, remember it better. The thing is, everybody's cheering. Everybody hates him. And he's getting pummeled. But he keeps getting up. He doesn't quit. He keeps getting up. Guy gets beat in the dirt. They're cheering, they're laughing. And you know he's borderline dead. And he climbs back up. And he goes back at him. It reaches the point where he is barely scraping up. And he's swinging, and the guy just looks at him because he can't even see him well enough to hit him and just pushes him down. The thing is, as he keeps going, the other inmates start cheering for him. And it turns. And all of a sudden, they're against the one guy. The guy who has beaten him to death even gets on his side because he can't believe this dude keeps getting back up. The end result, and he got whooped. The end result was he won. The end result was all of a sudden he's everybody's best friend. The end result is the bully, I think his name is George Papard. Somebody look it up and tell me I'm wrong. But becomes his best friend, his protector. Matter of fact, Luke, Paul Newman, becomes the leader, and this guy's his second in command, lieutenant, sergeant, whatever you want to call him. Everybody else follows him. He's the challenge. He's the king of the group. He won them all over. Not because he was bigger, not because he was stronger. I guarantee it wasn't because he was smarter, because nobody wants to get that kind of a beating in order to win. It was because he wouldn't quit. People respect that. People follow that. Okay, I'm getting too far off track. They knew he was a man to be reckoned with because he would not quit. I'm going to go off script for a second, but pause and think about that for a moment. You are a man to be reckoned with, a woman to be reckoned with, because you will not quit. You know that's true. I'll even give it to you in a negative. Those of you Christian folks in church that have ever had to dance the horror of church politics, who's the most irritating person? It's the one that won't quit. It's Mrs. Johnson, who has terrible ideas, who is horribly self-promoting, who some of you question if she's even saved. But she won't quit. She comes to every meeting and gripes. She comes to every meeting and pushes her agenda. My gosh, she directs your church more than you would like to admit because of persistence. that civil rights advocate that gets some horrible law passed that affects your great-grandchildren long after you're passed away because they were persistent and wouldn't quit. You may not like them, but you know there's somebody to be reckoned with. Anybody ever in politics knows the importance of that. Getting back on track. You must be the same way. When you have a deal that you desperately want, or more importantly, desperately need, keep chasing it. Never give up. Even when they sign a contract somewhere else. Never give up. Never quit trying. You're going to be amazed. Even when you don't get the deal, a strange thing starts to happen. The client sends you the referrals, not the person they signed with. The client tells people about you. The client tends to like you. Ultimately, the victory is yours and the continued sales is yours because you never gave up. Y'all know this. You've seen this. I'll even challenge you, you've done this. You went and looked at a car somewhere, and the guy was professional and stayed with you and actually did a follow-up call. How shocking is that in the car business? But, you know, you went with the guy that put the razzle-dazzle on you, that got you the thing that seemed good. The kicker is you come out from under the ether, you come out from under the razzle-dazzle, and you're not happy with what you bought. But this other fellow shockingly calls you 2 months later. And you even unload a little about how unhappy we are on what you have. And this guy helps you. He says, well, you might try this, you might try that, or whatever. Drive you crazy. Drive your boss crazy. But you know what? Your next one, you go talk to this person. And you know what? You don't care if you pay a few $100s more because you know they're going to be there for you. And you know what else? When your cousin needs one, is looking for a car, you say, go see Jimmy down here, man. He'll follow up with you. He'll give you service. And you call Jimmy and tell him, and he gives them a good price, and everybody's happy because service matters. But people don't pay for service unless they actually believe in it. That belief is earned through experience. Again, I'm running down a rabbit trail, but the truth is there. Even when you think you've lost, you have not necessarily lost. For those of you that prefer romance stories, think of the movie where the guy didn't follow up and he lost the girl, but he never gives up. 20 years later, her husband died in a tragic train accident, and they meet up. Still there, still carrying the torch. There's better ones. I'm not good at the romantic ones. Sorry, guys. But you know what I mean. You still stay with it. It will be there. I don't know why this is true, but this universe loves persistence. You can call it the world, you can call it our society, you can say it is God's rule. I don't care. I like to go a little bit generic and universal and say the universe. The universe loves persistence. You may not be the smartest, you may not be the prettiest, you may not be the quickest, you may not be any of the estices. That's a funny way of saying anything that ends in est. But if you are the last one standing, you win. That's the truth. The winner of the match is the last one standing. Side note, get a Don't Quit theme song. And yes, I actually put that in my notes. I'm serious. Get a Don't Quit theme song. When you're feeling crushed, when you're feeling kicked down, when you got nothing else, a little song to carry you through that you play in your head, that you sing out loud in the car when nobody else is around, will carry you a long ways. It helps a lot. A classic for any of y'all looking for one. What can make that little old ant think he can move that rubber tree plant? Everyone knows that ant can't move the rubber tree plant, but this would be a good time for audience participation. That's okay. He's got high hopes. He's got high... The whole purpose of the song is this. You don't know this song? How does anyone not know that song? That should be it. Rocky's good. Rocky's good. Not knowing high hopes should be a sin. Every one of you, go online, look this up. It is a child song written solely for the purpose of don't give up. I mean, I'm going to go way off track here for a moment and get semi-political. I think one of our problems for our education system is we teach people to give up now. What happened to stories about that? Think of the ones that dominated your parents' childhood. Maybe not yours, but your parents. Go ask them if you think I'm nuts. Little Train That Could. It's one of the most dominant stories taught. That and Bible stories, and that was it. Was the little train's message. I think I can. Don't quit. I got my doubts. I'm worried, but you know what? I ain't giving up. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Keep charging forward. That song, High Hopes, phenomenal song. It's a bunch of stories about impossible things becoming possible. There's an ant wanting to take down Rubber Tree Tramp, but he doesn't quit and he does it. There's a ram trying to tear down Hoover Dam. He does it because he doesn't quit. I mean, the purpose of that song is that flow. One of my favorites, for a few of you that are probably a few years younger than me, you'll relate to this. Maybe, it's a bit obscure. There's a band called Chumbawamba, and they did a song called Tub Thumpin'. I love that song. I play it. It is one of the few actually on my iPhone. I blow it out of the car when I've gotten kicked for the day. What is the song? I get knocked down, but I get up again. They ain't ever going to keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. They ain't ever going to keep me down. And it has a few things about drinking. I like drinking, so that's okay. Those of you that don't, my apologies. I'm probably horrible and out of line. Another, and this is a little more obscure but a little newer, there was a band called the Dolly Rots. I know this is not what the song is about. I don't care. But the lyrics are, I'm awesome. I don't need you, 'cause I'm awesome. And I mean, it's just all that. You're a zero, I'm a hero, 'cause I'm awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't follow the lyrics because it's supposed to be a little mocky. I don't care. The chorus rocks. It's fantastic. Every now and then, tell yourself you're awesome. Pump it up. You have an ego. God blessed you with a wonderful ego. Feed that ego. Anything in society that teaches you your ego should be down is foolish. And yes, I'm off on a rabbit trail again here for a minute. Feed your ego. Get people that feed your ego. You will get corrected when you need corrected. Trust me. Life has 1 billion opportunities to correct you. If you happen to work here, your boss will do it when he feels you've gotten too far out of line. Your coworkers will do it when you've gotten too far out of line. If you are married, I promise you, your spouse will do it when you've gotten too far out of line. Even your kids at times. At the same time, there is a moment of wisdom here. Feed your ego, people. That doesn't mean be a moron. That doesn't mean be somebody from some MTV show that turn around feeding their ego with the brains of a gnat and the wisdom of cannabis. I don't know. Have some wisdom. Pay attention. When you get corrected, stop and pause and listen to it and say, hey, there was something to learn from that. There was something to pick up. But otherwise, feed your ego. Please, get a theme song. Let something do it. Side note, some of you might like religious. I happen to love religious. Religious helps me more than the others. I might be getting a little bit personal here, and I'll apologize for it, but it does. It's why, strangely enough, and this is totally personal, I like old school churches. I like hymns. These are songs I relate to. These are songs that resonate deep in my soul. More importantly, these are songs that fit my voice and I can sing. Victory in Jesus? Come on, man. You cannot get in a choir with a group of people and sing Victory in Jesus, my Savior forever, and not have your blood rush, not have your adrenaline go, not know you're okay. There's 1 million of them. Come on, his eye is on the sparrow. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he's watching me. I get a little teared up. Seriously. How can you have a song that reminds you, even when you're beat, even when you're kicked, even when you're dead, even when your family, your friends, your coworkers, your spouse, everyone tells you you can't do it? Guess what? God tells you you can. All right? Yes, there's a moment here, and this isn't supposed to be Sunday school, and you better make sure you're in His will and blah, blah, blah. That's not that friggin' hard to do, all right? You got God on your side? How the heck are you not going to get up and keep going? Onward Christian soldiers marching off to war. Hey, how can you not? There are 1 million things to strengthen you and give you support. Look deeper and look wiser and look wider. I keep going here. We need to pause for a minute and verify that persistence must not be the same as insanity. Re-say that. Persistence must not be the same as insanity. Using the overused definition for insanity, and that is, say it with me, Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's right. And yes, it's overused, but in this case, it holds beautifully. Persistence as a sales tool means not quitting, always fighting, getting back up, trying again. It does not mean doing a poor sales pitch to every customer you meet. It means learning from every failure and getting up again, using that knowledge to do it better and doing it again. I'm going to rehash this just for anyone that missed it. Doing the exact same thing every time and getting back up, you better be friggin' 1,000% positive that every absolute aspect of what you're doing is perfect. From your dress to the way you combed your hair to your breath to your voice inflection, all the little aspects of sales, all the bigger, wider, deeper stuff, your sales pitch, your price, everything if you're going to do that. You need to learn from it. And then you go again. That's not quitting. Growing in knowledge, growing in wisdom. Absolutely nothing wrong with a no. Absolutely nothing ever wrong with the failure if you learn something from it. Failing's fantastic if you can learn something from it. I even give you this challenge. You want to be the best there is? You want to be brilliant? You want to be a multimillionaire? You want to be able to spit on me and people like me because we don't know half as much as you, which bless you, by the way. Go fail 1 billion times. If you learn from every single failure, the surest way to become a mountain is to get a mountain of failures under you because you learn from every dang one. How many people do you know with that kind of knowledge? How many people do you know with that level of experience? How many people you know with that level of wisdom? Most amazing person you meet, and admit this, is that 65, 70, 90-year-old man or woman that never quit learning, that kept going, that kept gaining knowledge, that kept being challenged. They blow you away. You're on them to the grocery store and you're amazed. You remember them for life. What's sadder than Nana that quit gaining education at 40 and hit 65 and you go, my lands, I thought Grandma was 97. Because they quit being challenged, they quit getting no's, they quit learning, they quit going forward. Sorry, sidetrack again. I watched a movie once, or maybe it was a TV show. I honestly don't remember, and I wish I did, but the scene stuck with me anyway. This loser of a guy walks into a club looking to pick up a gal. You know he has zero chance, but he goes up to the first attractive girl he sees, and he takes his best run. She shoots him down. He learns from it. He goes to the next one. The same thing happens. He's even able to get a few of them to discuss his failures and give him some tips. That's an important side note. The thing is, each time he keeps getting a little better and a little more charming, and by the fifth one, his confidence actually begins to soar. You would think the opposite, and honestly, the first 4 or so did what you expect, and he dropped a little after each crushing defeat, but something amazing happened and happens. He started to believe in himself, not so much as someone who had a chance, but as someone who wouldn't give up. His subconscious started to believe and accept that someone who didn't give up must have what it takes. By the end, not too many more tries, he gets a girl. Truth being shown, as all the other guys were better, none of them got the girl because they were all too afraid to fail and damned sure weren't going to fail more than once. I wish I could remember this and get the tape and show you. It really wasn't even trying to teach this lesson, but the lesson was there. Guy kept going. He kept asking. He wasn't there to quit. He even paused when he had one that it was okay and it wasn't a face slap and asked, hey, what didn't work for you, and learn from it. There's no harm in that if it's a safe situation to do it and you can maintain some credibility. The magic thing, though, was, and I'm serious, remember that 4th to 5th. After one, walked in cocky and arrogant but a loser, boom, 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 boom. But all of a sudden at that point, he hit the point. There ain't nowhere lower to go. I'm starting to have fun with this. I'm starting to believe in myself. And I'm dead serious, guys. Your subconscious starts to believe in you too and pushes you forward. People gravitate to that. People own that. people follow that. Remember, you must vary your tactic. You must consistently be learning from yourself and from your clients. Replay each failure in your head again and again. Run a scenario where they say yes rather than no. Keep running that one. Make that one the one you recall and believe and act accordingly. I'll go over that briefly, and I'm going to close pretty much right here. You get that one you really want, and it isn't there, go back. I know people, this is not the advice most folks give you. Dwell on stuff. Dwell on it. Don't dwell and waller in it. Don't dwell in the mud and stay there, but dwell on it. Figure it out. Where did I miss it? Where did I go wrong? And then rerun it through your head and do the right thing the next time and let that character roll and keep doing it. And if a new other objection came up, and yeah, I'm a little weird, maybe I can run these things through and play a movie in my head, keep going until they give you the yes, and keep rolling that and keep rolling that. Let that yes be run more times than the no until it replaces. And I'm dead serious. Yes, believe a lie. Make the memory that sticks, that you hold, the one that you made up as a movie in your head where they said yes. Don't carry the no around with you. You've already learned from that. You've already passed it. You've already moved on. Why own that negativity? Own the good and keep playing the good. But you have to constantly be learning from yourself and from other people. Last one, another movie, line from a movie, and here I will end. And yes, it was never meant to be inspirational, but it was to me. Classic Tim Allen movie, Galaxy Quest. Never give up, never surrender. If you can't have that made into a poster and put on your wall, you're not even trying. Thank y'all. For anyone that ever cared, that is my answer. The most important area of sales is persistence. See you next week.